Josh from Pokene here, wishing you a happy Thursday. I want to talk about how the business is going, and two inspirational, or I don't want to say inspirational drive. It really hit home, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching these two videos. One's Brian's from Pokene, and the other one is DJ from DJ's Poke Center. They're two terrific videos. I'll post the links in the description if you haven't seen them yet. But for me, it hit home. I'm almost hitting a year um, into doing the Pokemon business. Predominantly, my sales have been Japanese, Korean, simplified Chinese, Pokemon cards. Tariffs definitely, played a hard role. Just trying to learn how to adjust and whatnot to the prices, and still try to make it reasonably compatible with with everybody else around that's either a brick and mortar or online. Uh, Definitely the small fish in the pond, which is totally fine. You know, Being so young in the game, I was able to lock in distribution. I have one distributor, which I was super excited about. I'm honored and blessed to have that distribution. Yes, distribution is difficult. Uh, as an new online store, I do not get a lot of Pokemon TCG, but when I do, I offer it MSRP, and as will be the plan, as we continue forward, as I get allotments, or I'm sorry, allocations. But yeah, I'm blessed to have it. I get a lot of the ancillary products. Some do well, some don't do well. You lose some money with those, but as long as I can break even, I'm happy. I'm not trying to be a millionaire. Just trying to break even. Keep building that history to get more allocations for Pokemon, so I can get it out to y'all. One of my greatest weaknesses, and I will say, watching Brian and watching DJ is content. I am absolutely terrible at it. It is just not a thing. I'm still trying to get better at it. Bought a brand new webcam. I've got a mic now. I'm trying to project better, use less ums, which you're probably going to hear a ton of them still. But I'm trying to get better. So to not sound like I'm dumb, I guess. But it's okay. I don't know a whole lot. I mean, I know a little bit, but I'm not a genius. Definitely a lot of trial and error things. Shipping was a pain. Figuring out what boxes were what. I watched a lot of Pokene videos. Shipping costs. Trying to figure out what flat rate shipping to use. Trying to balance it, not to be super expensive with shipping, but not make any profit or break even with shipping. That's kind of my that's still like a hard balance for me. I think I've found a good middle ground on shipping. I don't mind eating some of the cost. Like I said, as long as I break even or make a little bit, I'm good, and everything goes right back into 904 Pokejacks, so I can keep building it up. But now to go to the videos, like I said, I'm gonna put them in the description, but they talk about content, which yes, I'm terrible at, and business minded versus investment minded. So I have a lot of stuff in my personal collection, which definitely funds a lot of the stuff from distribution. I do a lot of side hustles. I'll go cut yards. I'll go move storage units for folks. Whatever I can do to add any revenue or any profit. I would say really profit, but anything I can use for spend money for distribution is what I do. And same thing with the Japanese booster boxes. With the tariffs and everything, I'm able to balance that out pretty well now. I wish I could buy a lot more in stock, but because of distribution and trying to feed that in Japanese products, I'm trying to find that balance. But their videos absolutely just hit home. This is a grind. It is not easy, and having distribution is awesome, but I don't think I was too ready for it. A couple of things in Brian's video hit home. I might have rushed into this a little bit, either with the website or striving for distribution. Uh, I think a lot of that I kind of rushed, but I mean, it paid off. It's just the balance now. I wish I would have maybe waited a little bit longer. I think that's a huge lesson learned for me, and take it slowly, to add up a little bit more, spending money to really hit home, and keep it balanced. Because I sold a lot of my stuff to start this. I try not to use my job's money, my real job's money, 9 to 5 military, whatever you want to say, and intrude in anything like that. Like, that's strictly for home, right? So basically, it's make or break with the business. It's bust or succeed, which I think I'm like in the middle, which is okay. Like I said, I lose a little bit, but not a lot. As long as I'm breaking even is good. But I think I did kind of rush in that. And as many videos as I watched of Brian, I listened to a lot of his advice, and some of it I just didn't get until I actually started doing those things in the business. So you're like, oh shoot, this is true, or oh shit, I should have done that better. Um, and I think another problem was like I was really trying to think like an investor and not a businessman. So that's how I'm gonna recalibrate 904 PokeJacks is to more of a business format than in an investment format. I think things that I should have been selling, I should have sold, and not hang on to it. And when it makes sense to hold certain things, to hold certain things. Not saying I got a lot of stuff from distro, but I have a lot of stuff in my personal collection. Like I said, I don't mind letting go. I was just sorry, I had to move the camera. It was like, oh, what if I hold this longer? What if I hold this longer? So I think I'm definitely going to be stepping away from that and recalibrating to allow me to focus more on the business aspect than an investment side of a business until the time is right. DJ hit that on the head, nail on the head right there. Also, like how he's operating his business and looking for product, how he's advertising, like how I wanted to, initially start 904 PokeJacks is exactly how he's doing it, and it's freaking awesome. I should have made this more of a vlog, because I'm not there yet. I have a lot of things I still need to do and accomplish, small base with the business, and I think reaching for the stars a little too early. Not saying like for money, but just trying to expedite the process of the business to try to get certain things was like distribution probably wasn't the best idea. So definitely take it from Brian's standpoint and watch DJ's video on how he just studied it for 7 months. That's incredible, and it shows. It clearly shows based off how he is operating, and it is awesome. So huge kudos to him, and out there just making it happen. Um, but yeah, that's kind of just I would say like this is more like I guess a recap of the year in a nutshell. I'm going to do like a really solid kind of like recap with a big lesson learned, and I think the biggest one is going to be shipping. Shipping is a challenge. Finding product, i.e., for Japanese mainly, knowing good sources, when it makes sense, not to make sense to buy Japanese booster boxes. One thing I kind of watch huge is TCG Player and what the market is for a booster box and what I can get it for in Japan. So it correlates and makes sense because I would say all collectors or investors or businessmen use TCG Player. And I would say I would think that the Japanese are watching TCG Player and seeing where they could balance out their end so they know they're making a profit and you're getting a little bit of meat from that bone as well. So it's just timing is everything. When it comes to Japanese product, timing it right with tariffs, because I bake my tariff into my cost, just like Pokene does. I don't say, oh, you're gonna buy a box for $89. Here's a 15% tariff and shipping. No, I try to balance it, bake it in so it's affordable, and I strive to be below market price and include free shipping, because if you look at TCG Player, a lot of the sales, majority of the time, I want to say all the time, shipping's included. So not knowing the full reach of TCG Player, I want to say that, hey, if shipping's being included into the price, that is accounting for market price. But another thing you got to take into consideration too with TCG Player and the market price is that you see Korean booster boxes being sold on there as well, which I would believe correlates with the average market price as well. Because if you go to Japanese and you look and you see, oh, there's Japanese, and you scroll down a little bit, oh, there's a Korean booster box that's $49 or something like that. So I'm pretty sure that all that kind of correlates into that market price. Now, how much it does, I don't know. I'm sure it goes off of sales and total volume, just like normal stock market buy or sell. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I am super blessed to have the opportunity to start this. I'm looking forward to continue doing this unless go broke. And hey, I tried. That to me, that's the biggest thing. Is like, hey, I saw something, I tried, but the military me doesn't allow me to fail. So I'm keeping pushing. This ain't a like, oh, boo-hoo me. No, these are just facts of, hey, if you're really thinking about this, do your homework, make smart choices, and separate between business and investment. Because if you don't, you're going to put yourself in a bind. Know the right time to be able to invest. But if your sole purpose is, hey, I am a business, focus on the business, not investments. Because, it's just like the market. It goes up and down. And, a box, get yourself in a good position, hold you a box or a case, and maybe 5 years down the road, you're, 5X in your money. It's just crazy where the market's at today and how everything's just like 2, 3, 4X MSRP. And collectibles is a big thing. Heck, big wigs, big Wall Street people are, hey, collectibles can be 5% of my portfolio. Message sent, shot across the bow. It's got folks' attention, and it's making money. So why not? Why not? And if you watch Alex from Nostalgianomics, you listen to all the percentages and everything. Like you're getting more returns if you're in the investment standpoint. With that advice, S&P 500. So just before you start, my recommendation: know what you're getting yourself into. Are you trying to be an investor, or are you trying to be a businessman? Flippers, in my opinion, are just guys making quick money. If you want to make this business, you got to build a brand. Lots of folks have talked about that in videos. Brian, DJ, Legendary Cardboard. I love watching him too. I wish he'd post more videos. I miss the guy. But know what you're getting yourself into and what your goals are. I had short-term goals. I've accomplished some of them, and I accomplished long-term goals quicker than I did with short-term goals, which that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I kind of rushed myself, and I should have accomplished some smaller goals before jumping into the ocean and stuck to the pond for a little bit. But yeah, those are my thoughts, my opinions. Again, put that in the description or in the comment section. I'm sorry. Brian's video and DJ's video. Look, watch DJ's video. It's good. It is really good. Like I said, the guy makes amazing content. Freaking love it. He is energetic. He's got a good focused mind on what he's trying to accomplish. It's good. It's really good. And Brian is a wealth of knowledge, despite what everybody says. He's got a wealth of knowledge. I love Team Rocket Joey. Love his content. Nostalgianomics. Everybody has their own take and opinions on everything. You just got to grab what works. I want to say what works. Grab what is, my opinion, just grab what you think will work for you if you're in a business state or an investment state or a vendor with singles. Take a look at that. Everybody's got a good, Pokene, everybody's got a good grasp on a niche and has a lot of knowledge to give because they've been in the game for a very long time. So take that in consideration. Know your goals, know what your mindset is, and be ready to grind, and good things will happen. Hope this video helps. Like I said, it's kind of like a small recap, not a full recap. Check out Brian's video, check out DJ's video. I wish you all the best, and you have a great rest of your day.